Alright, welcome to another Easy Mesh tutorial. I know I haven't done one in a while. In this tutorial, I am going to show you how to make this table relatively quickly for Second Life. We'll get it ready. I'm not actually going to import this into Second Life, but we will go through the steps of building it and bring it into Blender and, having a look at it there, and we'll get it so that it's exportable importable into Second Life. So here we go. I'm going to start in SketchUp. I'm going to make a work plane first with the work plane tool. Remember to click in the center, drag along one axis. I'm going to have it upright because it's a table. I think I'm going to make the scaling. I right clicked on the blank area to bring this up. I usually leave this alone, the 10 by 10, but I'm going to change the grid to 0.5, which just makes it twice, the grid size twice as much as it was. So it was 10 squares by 10 squares. By putting 0.5, it's going to put a line every half meter or 0.5 of a meter, making it 20 by 20. So press OK, and there it is. So hit enter to accept that. Now what I'm going to do is make a box. Just draw a square all the way across this grid so we can see it. I will bring that picture in. Let me see, supported images. Yeah, okay, so let's go to the right folder. I'm not quite sure. Oh, having a little lag issue. I don't know why it's lagging on me, but it is. Something happened. There it is. Okay, so anyways, sorry about that. I'm going to drag it the whole width. I'm not going to hold control because I want to get it kind of to scale. And then I'm just going to use this as my guide. So like I said, I'm going to try to make this quick, so I'm not going to go exactly to the scaling, but I'm going to get pretty close. So I'm going to first draw a bunch of lines, and I'm just going to go around the outline of this edge. This is the only edge I'm really worried about. So I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to kind of trace it. Even if it's not perfectly to scale, that's okay. So if you could see that I'm just kind of tracing it, I think I'm going to make this little box a little bit shallower rather than deeper. And there we go. So basically all I did was I traced around the whole box, and now I'm going to do the same thing, only I'm going to extrude it up a little bit. So we're going to go, I'd say 10. So in order to do that, I first get the pencil tool and I click on one of the start or the end point, it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to type 0.10, which will give me 1/10 of a meter. See? Whatever axis you are pulling is the direction it's going to go. So 1/10 of a meter, and then I'm going to go all the way to this edge because it'll snap to my 1/10 of a meter. See how it snaps to it? I'm going to do that, go up, then I'm going to go down from here, snap it. You see what I'm doing here, I hope. Click, and then I go in, click once, go down. Control C because I don't think that was correct, that last one. 1/10 of a meter, there we go. And then on this, I'm going to actually go this way. 1/10 of a meter, go straight down. Then I'm going to go 1/10 of a meter further. since this is in line with this top part, I can actually just snap it to that. Here I'm going to have to go up. You see, I'm not typing any numbers here. I'm just letting the program do it for me, which is kind of nice. I'm trying to make this sort of a fast tutorial because most of mine are pretty long and drawn out. So now that we've done all of that, we can start working on our curve. So you see how there's a curve there. To do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from here and I'm going to make like a square in every corner. Okay, so just get the pencil tool and make a square in every corner, a tenth of a meter. Everything's going to be somewhat symmetrical. We're going to have some lines to erase, but it shouldn't be too bad because most of our lines are already made. So every corner gets a square. I'm sorry if this is very quick and hard to follow, but I've had a lot of comments that my tutorials are a little bit drawn out and long. I thought that was helping people, but apparently not. So anyways, again, tenth of a meter, go down. So now I can start um, rounding these corners. Now for the end pieces, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and then pull it out um, until it's a half round. See? And then I could clean this up by removing these three lines. See, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. It's going to be a little bit more difficult on the um, on these corners here because we're going to have to make two um, we're going to have to make two half rounds or something equivalent to that. So we have to do that, and then we have to make another half round here. And I didn't give that any thought before I started this, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a tenth of a meter, which it should snap to either way, like this. And then I get the arch tool and I do like that. You see? Now I can erase all these lines and we'll see how it looks. One thing I don't like about that is it's not really that symmetrical. If you look at this, it looks like it has kind of a fat corner. Um, I don't really like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to fix that. I'm gonna Control Z back, and we I might change how I'm making this corner right here. So from here to here, oops, we're gonna make this angle, and then maybe from here to here we'll make a similar angle. I like that idea better. You'll see it kind of snaps, so we can clean this up and see how that looks. I think it's going to look a little bit better, yeah. So we're going to do this on all of them. Basically, we're going to get these corners, go a tenth of a meter out, and um, make our arches. I know that it's going to be a little repetitive. You have to keep in mind that this sort of situation happens sometimes. I cammed way in because over here we have these little lines that you can actually get rid of. Um, I probably have them down here too. No, I don't. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do all those. It's going to be the same process over and over again. So I won't explain it every time, but you can definitely watch as I do them. I'm not going to speed the video up to do this because I don't want people, it's a tutorial. I hate it when people speed up tutorials because they think that you know what they're doing. So I'm not going to speed it up. You can watch or you can fast forward if you'd like. And for the sake of trying it, I'm going to try erasing my lines first. Maybe that would um, have a good effect. I'll try that on this corner. So maybe if I get the eraser and erase these lines first, maybe I'll have a better mm, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So I was just checking. So I think I'm gonna continue to do that where I erase the lines first. So you'll notice when that the line is turning green, which means that it's going out. And I kind of don't want it to go out. And what I mean by going out is it's protruding this direction instead of going that direction. So if that line turns green like that, you know that, or just know that that's incorrect. Actually, I'll do it intentionally. You see, if I turn it because the line was green, it put the angle wrong. So I'm going to undo that, but that's um, you don't want to do that because your mesh will be very messed up real quick. So just keep that in mind. All right. And by the way, I am using a new microphone. Um, I hope it sounds good. I know you can hear me breathe in it. It's kind of one of the things I don't like about it. But I hope that's not too bothersome to everybody who watches this video. I almost forgot to erase our lines. All right, I think we have two more. Yes, two more. Oh, and the reason why I'm not going to be uploading this into Second Life, if anybody is wondering, is because I'm not the creator of the artwork. Actually, I Googled futuristic um, table and this image came up. So I really try not to steal other people's work. And I think working off of someone's image isn't really stealing as so long as I don't try to sell this item. um, which I have no intent on selling. I just want to show people how you can make some items that, or some, if you use your own artwork or someone else's with permission, how you could use that to make um, mesh. Uh, so if you're wondering why I'm not going to upload this into Second Life, that's why. So here we have it. I've gone all the way around it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just erase this corner and then figure out what went wrong, because it should have kept all this. Somewhere there's a line that's not connected, and this happens sometimes. Um, Basically got to run around this thing with the cam and look for it. It's probably something I erased somewhere along the line. I am not sure. Another thing you can do is start making lines and see if that fills it in. Yeah, see. Once in a while that happens. I just drew a line and it generated a face for me, and that's all I needed to do. So the next thing we could do is we could go ahead and erase this this work plane. Right click work plane. These days I just click hide. I used to delete them. I'll hide it. So here we have it. There's our table kind of blank. So now what you want to do is you want to get this push-pull tool here, and we're just going to click and drag until you like the width of the table. I think that I like it right about there. So now you can see that here's the table. Let's look at the image again and see the color scheme so we can kind of do some color. If you notice, this is kind of like a white and black or gray table, which sorry, that was my phone. Uh, which I'm just going to keep it solid colors for now. You can texture this, but I don't think it's really necessary. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find two random um, things, like for example this, and I'm going to paint this on the inside all the way, all the faces, and then for the outside I'm going to do a totally different one. And when you bring it into Second Life, you could change the colors at will, or you can just use what you've done and put your own textures on it. But for now, I'm just going to base texture this with just random textures. So we'll put this on the top. So like I said, since it's a solid color, I don't really care at this point about getting the texture to line up. You see how the checkers don't line up? I don't think that it's necessary to make them line up at this point, because it's uh, it would be a solid color. So let's export this. Export as a 3D model. I'm gonna put on my desktop. I'm exporting it as an OBJ file. In the options, I'm not clicking any of this. I turned all that off in the options. Okay, and then I'm going to name this table to my desktop. Then we'll open up Blender and we'll check it out. So File, Import. It's called a Wavefront or OBJ. My desktop. Here it is, the table. Import. So here it is, the table that we made. And if we click here, you can see it with the textures on it in Blender. And that's it. At this point, you can export this file, export, as a collada or DAE file, which is what you would use for Second Life. And I wouldn't even bother to to make a physics file for this because people are going to sit down on chairs at this, or it's going to be a prop. So for physics, I would leave it as none and upload it with um, as few triangles as possible. So that's it. That's the end of the tutorial. If you liked it, please like the video, subscribe if you want to see more. I'm sorry it's been so long since I made a video, but I'll try to make more so we can have more builders in Second Life. Thank you for watching.